Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome again to the Co-op Funeralcare European Masters 2017, kindly hosted by Blackpool Newton Hall, part of the Partington's holiday group, and Jason and I are joining you for this last game of the afternoon session on the screened rink. I just was wondering what the delay was out there, why Scott wasn't sending the jack out. That's why I was pausing. Great game on the cards here. Scott Edwards versus Simon Skelton.
Yeah, we're in for a treat, I think. If both players bring their A game, it's going to be a good one.
We did nearly have a bit of a swap of personnel there, Jason, because Alan Thornhill said would I swap with him, and he wanted to come in here, and I was going to go out and mark for him.
Oh, really?
So yeah, that was apparently on the cards.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Then there was some sarcastic comment about I haven't had to sit down all day, whereas you've been sat down all day.
Ooh.
So yes, I know that's Mr. Thornhill for you, but it's a great team out here at the World Bowls Tour. The other two rinks are in operation, and currently, didn't quite see the score, but there's a really good game going on rink 6, Jason.
7-5 to Trevor.
Trevor Taylor versus Neil Smith out on rink 6. And on the rink 4, we've got Jacqueline Henderson versus Scott Bishop. That hadn't just quite started when I came in, but those are the last 3 games on today. And then, of course, if you can't stay with us this evening, don't forget we start again at 9:30 in the morning. I will be out on a rink at 9:30. Jason will be leading you through the game that'll be out on the screened rink. So we're expecting this to be a good game, and Simon Skelton is going to confuse everybody again because he's with red bowls with a red top, but he's in green on the scoreboard with yellow stickers. Oh, and I'm so glad I hadn't had a drink at that point. I thought I'll get through this one, and then say, right, Jason, take the bones out of that one then. Oh dear.
And
I was right as well, wasn't I?
and Scott.
Oh yeah. Green bowls.
Scott's green bowls and
but red stickers.
red
but at least
stickers.
He's got a white and maroon top, so it's not too bad.
It's like watching snooker in black and white, isn't it? The red is behind the green.
Yeah. You can tell we've had a long day in here. A bit of a loose opening end. Sorry for our chuckles in this commentary position, but it's
Been a long day.
it has been I know I came in to do sound checks at 8:30 this morning doing the sound checks. You're lucky in the morning, Jason, because we've already done the sound checks. So
Yeah.
as long as nobody messes about with any of these dials while we're away this evening, you'll be fine to walk into it tomorrow.
Sounds good. You can tell how good the other game is as well, Janice, because all the crowd have just nipped round there.
Yeah, to be fair, we were both having a bit of a watch of that as we had our little break. What a great game on the cards here. And I did tell you that Scott Edwards' profession was a poker player.
Yes.
Ex-poker and football. Scott is qualified. And he's been one of those ones that's also been unfortunate at qualifiers as well, where he's got to quarterfinals, semi-finals and finals and just not been successful. But, and as you mentioned earlier, Simon Skelton just dropped out of the top 16. He won the World Pairs in 2016 January with Robert Paxton. Went back to defend but was unsuccessful.
Yeah, stayed in the top 16 for 6 years. not bad at all. He's been top 18 for the last 11. Should go in, yep.
Well, steady hands, Thornall being called on to measure straight at the first end. He's not reporting to us what the score is there. I'm just hoping our producers pick that up. Sounds like we've got a bit of a gremlin in the tech equipment as well as this camera. Sorry for the Charlie Chaplin type view you got when the players are playing in this direction. There we go, that's steadies the mind. Perry Martin just coming in there with a drink in his hand. Just been successful on rink 4, beating Martin Gale. That sets him up a TV rink game for those Perry Martin fans. Anybody listening from Swale, Perry's game is actually live on Facebook Live as well as the World Bowls Tour YouTube stream at 2:15 tomorrow, where we'll play Graham McDougall. Got one of the left-handers on the tour. Looks on a good track with this, Simon.
Just looks short. Is he going to get here?
The players did get that 15-minute break to have a roll-up. We had been originally told we were going straight into the game, but they gave us a 15-minute comfort break. And it was 2 to Simon Skelton there. We just didn't get the feedback off the umpire marker, Alan Thornhill there. Oh, Scott's just pulled up short.
Yeah, just a loose end to start with here. I'm sure it'll build up. Both players just settling in.
Simon did try to re-qualify to get himself back in this year. He just lost out in the semi-finals of the World Singles qualifiers and also lost out in the final of the pairs qualifiers. Both at Lincoln. And the piece of useless information is he lost out to yours truly in the semi-finals. We had a good game, Simon and I. To be fair, it could have gone either way. It was last end of the tie-break job. I just managed to nick it. That's what Simon's doing here now. He knows he can't afford another year not playing in the ranking tournaments. As Jason mentioned in an earlier game, you were saying about the 3-year cycle.
That's correct.
If he loses another year's worth of the ranking points he had got, then it becomes even harder to get back in. But this man on the mat, very determined, the flamboyant player. Not frightened to play the big shots, isn't Scott? One declared.
It's hard to tell which is the nearest bowl.
Two declared.
It's got two, is it?
I think I might have to give a shout out to the fact that I don't think Alan Thornhill's pack's working at the moment for us, but that looked like it was a 2, didn't it?
Yep.
Well, I think he's underweighted this again. Like you say, just early doors, it can just be. He's 4-0 up, though. He's settled score-wise so far.
Yeah, just a little bit scrappy, isn't it? But I'm sure they'll both find a length soon. Tends to just start getting a little bit colder in here this time of night, Janice, as well, which obviously affects the pace of the green.
Yeah, we do find that with certainly the evening games. It gets cooler outside as well. It can affect the pace of this rink. It's quite interesting, really, because this is the bona fide rink too here at Blackpool Newton Hall, but once we put the set around it, it becomes very enclosed, so it can have quite dramatic changes in temperature. Normally it goes very, very hot, but in the evenings it can cool down, and the side where the doors are, which is the side that Scott's playing down now, sometimes can become that little bit heavier, certainly in the direction he's playing at, because he's playing towards the outside wall.
Played it well.
Good ball here.
Sat together.
2 red. Last ball's gone through 14 inches. Okay.
Scott says his favourite rink is the portable rink, so that just shows how many times he has managed to qualify.
Well, Simon, you need the jack. Has he got enough of it? No.
Again, another player that's not frightened to attack early. There was a chance for the 2 bowls away there, though.
Certainly was. He's going to pull up big time.
Yeah, I think he wasn't after getting close to the other 2 bowls, but he was certainly after another counter.
I can't see why he wouldn't get close, Janice, to be honest with you. If you get a third shot slightly to the right, even if you take the 2 balls.
That was his ideal, wasn't it?
You know, if you take 2 balls, you're still going to get
He
one.
wanted another shot in there, but not right across to his other 2 bowls.
Now, does Simon go again? No, I think he's going to draw.
Nice wide line.
He'll come back on a length. Here it comes now. Well played.
Not sure whether Simon's out there with his professionals or his XPs. That looked like an XP line to me.
One red.
One red, which is green. No, it's red. But green bowl. Yeah, that's right. You can now understand why the World Bowls Tour do red and green bowls, though, can't you? It would be so complicated if the top events were players allowed to play with different colours.
Oh,
he's rested it in. So that's one green now, which is yellow.
yes.
1 shot, Simon Skelton.
He was unlucky there, really. You know, another half a bowl under that. Sits the ball for 3, turns the jack for 3, and the only bit of danger he finds.
He gets it, yeah.
That's what you call sod's law.
Oh, no.
Bit unlucky there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, the winner of this game actually plays the game that's out on rink 4 at the moment, which is Jacqueline Henderson from Merry Wash versus Scott Bishop from Blantyre. As we mentioned earlier, the other game that's out there at the moment is between really two heavyweights of the game of bowls, both very, very competitive players, Neil Smith and Trevor Taylor.
Yeah, it's a great tie, that. Neil's got two daughters that play the game at a very good level as well.
We do indeed. I met one of them at the Ladies World Match play in January.
Played very well, didn't she?
She did. It went to a tie-break. I'm actually very, very surprised that neither of those two girls are here in this event. Supporting the dad normally on the sidelines, and they're not here for this event.
Especially in Blackpool.
Yep, I'd have thought they'd have both been here.
Night on the town.
And the winner of that game will meet Wayne Wilgress tomorrow afternoon at 3:45.
He's arrived, I've seen him.
He'll be lonely at home because his good lady wife's over in Australia representing England, so Wayne will be glad of the company, I would think.
Yep.
Bex Field will be supporting him if she gets the chance to get to a computer while she's out there. Oh, great ball from Simon.
Certainly was.
Gap is half an inch. 3 yellow.
Doesn't want to start losing any more, Janice, really. It's not a brilliant head. There's not a lot on.
I thought he was perhaps looking at playing a runner, but if he misses this, Jason, he's in all sorts of trouble. Only one away.
Unlucky.
I don't know whether there was the target, the angles were set to be able to get both bowls, to be honest.
I think in an ideal world, he's probably looking for one onto the other and just get some kind of movement on the jack, just to give him a bit more room with his last. You know, if he hit that ball onto the jack, maybe spread it 4 or 5 yards.
Open it up a bit.
Yeah, I think that was what the aim was there.
Close here again, Simon. Another one in, puts Scott under all sorts of pressure.
Yeah, he's really starting to find it now.
Just news in from our producer. Apparently we've lost the Facebook live feed at the moment. So stick with YouTube if you're with us with YouTube, or if you've got people that you know that are watching on Facebook live, just try and get them over onto YouTube for now. We'll try and get it back as soon as we possibly can. I know we've had a large spectator following on the Facebook Live, so it's our first event where we've used that facility, and it's certainly gone down well just in its first day.
Certainly has.
Scott.
Just not finding it at the moment, is he? Just scratching for a length.
Yeah, he was just too wide, really.
3
with that
shots,
line.
Simon Skelton.
Well, I wasn't expecting an 8-0 scoreline after 4 ends in this game.
No, certainly wasn't.
of a change in length. Like Jason was mentioning, a few of the spectators have actually gone over to watch the Smith versus Taylor game. It's very, very hard for the powers that be to work out which game to put on the main rink for you here. Had a variety of different players on today. Variety of different players on tomorrow. Certainly first game up is James Rippy versus Gary Smith. That's at 9:30. And then following that at 11:30 will be Paul Hartley versus Steve Mead. Then the afternoon first game up at 2:15 will be Graham McDougall versus Perry Martin. And then the last two games of the day will only be decided tomorrow morning. I mentioned before, we're live with you for every game played here on Rink 2. Part of the World Bowls Tour YouTube stream to try and bring you as much bowls as we can. We bring you every bowl sent at the World Bowls Tour ranking events. We'll bring you every bowl sent here at the weekend here. But the first 2 days, Thursday and Friday, we've got early rounds. Another good bowl from Simon. Scott looks on a good track here, but he looks to have overplayed it. Again, Simon's in again here, I think. Closer bowling again. And Scott's leaving himself in all sorts of trouble here.
4 yellow.
4 yellow.
It's 4 at the moment. Well, it looks like he's on a drawing line, but he'd have to get inside that red short bowl. It's on its way. Can it make the trip? Looks like it might have got second shot.
One shot, Simon Skelton.
Yep, it's a big bowl. Would have been all over. He wouldn't have saved that, I think. And for those of you at home wanting to know the current score with Neil Smith against Trevor Taylor, Trevor Taylor's just sneaked the first set and is 1-0 up after one end in the second. We also have a game going on Rink 4 as well, which is 2 apiece after 3 ends. They were slightly later starting. So we'll update, obviously, as the match progresses. But that's Scott Bishop against Jacqueline Henderson, 2 each after 3 ends. What a fantastic bowl by Scott there. I'll just
checking some of my records here, Jason, and Scott did something very, very similar at the International Open against Paul Foster MBE, who just won the World Singles, and he actually lost the first set against Paul 11-1. He came back to win the second set 3-7 and took the tiebreak.
Right.
So that was where the memory was just drifting off there a bit. 'Cause I was trying to remember what the scoreline was, and I thought the best way to do it is look this up on worldbowlstour.tv, which I did. But I knew he'd done something similar, and the second set he played against Paul, he was absolutely outstanding, and then outstanding into the tiebreak. And we always say that there's a world champion's curse at the International Open, and world champions always seem to disappear out at the first round, and it happened again this year, and it was Scott Edwards that actually did that to Paul Foster. So he's used to losing the first set, and then he went on to lose to Jamie Chesney in round 2, the eventual winner.
Just needs to run a bit more. 3 cracking bowls for 1 down.
It's not something we like to do, lose the first set heavily, but that is the joy of sets play. You can always come back in the second set and win it and take it to a tie-break. And once you've done that, you do tend to be a bit more relaxed about the fact that, yes, it is possible. I've done it once before, I can do it again.
That's right, you've just got to put it out of your mind, haven't you, Janice?
Yeah.
It's a fresh start.
Easy to do, but like I say, when you've experienced it before, it does make it a little bit easier. Well,
I think Simon won't be bothered at losing a 1 here.
no, and Scott's obviously trying to set it up for a bit of a trail here. Simon will have seen that and cover it, an experienced player, Simon Skelton. Sure his good lady wife Jo's watching on at home. Well, Scott, you set yourself up for a possible trail here. Can he get it? Looks a bit wide to me. He's got a swoop.
It'll come now. It will come.
Well, it's starting to work. Piece of the jack.
Oh,
Great effort. Fantastic effort.
One shot, Scott Edwards.
That gets him on the card. Remembering that he lost the first set in March to Paul Foster. Just under the line there, Scott. Short. I mean, at this stage of the set, Jason, you're really just trying to play yourself into the game.
yeah, definitely give yourself a chance for the second set. Just try and find some kind of momentum, get your rhythm.
Something disturbed Scott there.
It came up very quickly then, into smiling at something.
Yeah, Yeah, you see, of course, there are other games going on the rink. The way that Scott was pointing there is another game going on that rink. Now, whether somebody struck and there was a bang or somebody shouted, I'm not sure, because we're just getting the feedback off this rink. This looks short.
Yeah.
Your last bowl.
Good
just
chance
under 2 feet.
here. I doubt he'll be that wary with the next two, but he needs to just close this down now. He's looking for a couple of threes and a 2.
Yeah, it's still possible. Still 3 ends to play. Scott's from the Adair Club. A few players from there.
Lee Prince, good old friend of mine.
3 red.
Lorraine Cooler.
Yep.
I'm sure she's listening in to see how Scott's doing. And of course, Simon's from Nottingham. Urging this one on.
He's to connect with the jack. How far has it gone?
1 red.
Well, he needs to
To you.
probably just look at reaching this, take a gamble, I think, Janice. One's no good, really.
There's a chance as well, isn't there? And I often say in these games, you've got to attempt to take your chances when you can.
Yeah, probably just got to land on it with a yard. Put Simon under a bit of pressure. He's got a bowl left, obviously.
That looks under the line for the
Well
bowl.
under. Looks closer to the other one.
Looks close to flicking
Uh-oh.
the jack to the yellow bowl. Well, he kind of played it with the right sort of weight.
Yeah, I think that's what he was playing. I think he just missed the line. I think it was the shot to play. You've got a chance of making a few. You're not going to get many chances against Simon Skelton to make a 3 or a 4.
No, got to take your chances, certainly against these top players. A little bit of luck can be involved at times. Certainly in 7 end sets play, because of course when I played Simon it was 7 end sets. This 9 end set just gives you a little bit more flexibility, but you still don't want 3s and 4s dropping. I tell you what, Scott will be ruining the chance he had there of taking that red bowl of Simon Skelton's out. Looks like Scott's looking for 2. Now 1 declared. Looks like it could be 2. Yep. Certainly keeps him in this first set.
2 shots. Scott Edwards.
6 behind. 2 ends to play. We've said this before. In previous games, all Simon Skelton needs to do now is to just make sure that he's not dropping anything more than a 1.
Yeah, compact the head with bowls, keep it tight. He's probably to do that with the last one. He just had a bit of a wary end, didn't he, that last one? It was
Yeah.
very unlike Simon. Happens to us all.
He was probably lucky to only drop 2 shots in the end.
Yeah, to be fair, yes.
Scott turned his back on that one very quickly.
Not happy out there, is he, Janice, at the moment?
No, he doesn't look comfortable, but like I say, I can certainly remember commentating on that game against Paul Foster and thinking Scott was letting himself down somewhat in the first set, and then bang bang, and he's won it on a tie break.
Well played.
That's better.
How far short is that last ball, please?
Last bowl, 15 inches.
Again, not a bad bowl from Simon. Doesn't need to count shot here. Probably liked it a bit closer, but cuts it down area-wise for Scott to draw into.
Well, Scott.
Oh, good bowl again, Scott.
Well played.
2 red.
That's counting, that's the main thing.
How short is the last ball, please, Alan?
Last bowl gap, 12 inches.
Possible to draw around it, but he might
Shot bowl is this one behind, is 5 inches past jack high.
might choose to reach to this, Jason.
Yeah, now for sure, just nothing too fancy.
Compare that delivery to the delivery of Paul Hartley's. For any new players out there, this is so consistent a delivery for him,
Oh, well played, Simon.
but it's not something that we'd
1 yellow.
normally coach.
Ball for Jack High, please.
Very slightly in front.
Yeah, go and have a look at it, Scott. It's an important end for you here. Try and work out how he gets a 3 out of this, or even a 2 out of it.
I just don't think he can get back with enough pace on the forehand, Janice.
Yeah.
Round Simon's short bowl to flick the bowl away, but to also stay. You can get to the bowl, but I don't think you can get to it with enough power to make a 3 and stay in the head. The other option is, do you take a chance and you play the backhand a little bit quicker, bowl onto Jack and hope your bowl follows through? Leaves Simon a bit of an area to get into, but I can't really see any other option, Janice, to be honest with you.
No, it looks like he's setting up for
Yeah, well, his forehand, obviously.
his forehand, our backhand. He's looking for that shorter green bowl. With the
Gone.
2 near the jack.
Well,
No, still not enough.
1 shot, first set, Simon Skelton.
So, first set to Simon Skelton, 10-3. To go into a tie-break, Scott Edwards has got to win this second set. Just a bit of a delay there. Not the usual break for the adverts.
no. He's waiting for the umpire to send the bowl. He was short as well.
Yeah, he was the umpire that won the event that we played last night, which was in memory of John Taylor. Right, well, we have some news on the other games for you. Of course, Trevor Taylor won the first set, but he's losing 6-4 in the second set after 5 ends. And then the game with Henderson and Bishop. Bishop in the first set is 9-2 up after 7 ends. Just trying to keep you informed as best we can.
Great service we're getting.
Tom Wyatt, Assistant Tournament Director for this event. Just run in with those scores for us and the scores from earlier today.
That's the start he's looking for, Janice. Needs to put the last set behind him. Start afresh.
One red.
One.
Red, your bowl.
How far short is Simon's, please?
Gap on Simon's bowl, 2.5 inches.
Which bowl's red?
No, yours about 1.5 inches short of jack high, and it's touching the jack.
Have a look.
Yeah.
Not an easy shot for Scott to try and make another bowl here. But start of the second set, so I think he'd be quite happy to score the one and have the jack again.
Certainly, yep. Just to try and find a length that suits. Doesn't like this again.
It was one of those where he was trying to actually play the perfectly neat draw.
Yeah, just falling just behind.
Now there's a shot for Simon here. Could go wrong if there's any jack movement, but his own bowl does look like it takes the green bowl out the head. It's the sort of shot that Simon will take on as well. If there's not a lot of danger of being any more than one down.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether there's just jack movement on both hands, I think. Yep.
Yeah, he's just... That's the joy of actually going up to the head to have a look yourself. You can see what the angles are like. Our camera angles are not brilliant for
Overheads.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like he's just... He tried to count another, but he
One
wasn't
shot,
over
Scott Edwards.
worried
Yeah.
about it. I don't think they're too much danger.
Just get the jack in your hand. Now, where does he go?
Yeah.
Well, he's got to change something. Matt back. Looks like he's going the distance.
Say, they seem to have hoyed it out. Full length. Obviously, it's a lot longer length, a full length on here, Janice, rather than the portable rink.
Yes, it's one of the longest carpets in the country. So, although we're still playing 3-metre tees that we play on the portable rink, it's a good couple of metres longer. I know a lot of the top 16 say that they have to remind themselves when they come here that it's not the portable rink, and they do have to reach that extra 6 feet or so. Just like us club players have got to remind ourselves when we're playing 2-metre tees and how far
Correct.
2-metre tees are.
Ball.
That's a good ball from Scott. Simon will just stick with his draw. Just overplayed it. Very good line. Scott got the opportunity of getting another bowl in here. Puts the pressure back on Simon. And good bowl again.
It certainly is. Well played. Unfortunate
Three
where it's
red.
finished. Sam will follow him. He's
It's
wall up,
more
isn't
aggressive
he? Yeah.
in the area. Very close.
Good shot.
What a great result. Like I say, it was just unfortunate where Scott Edwards' bowl finished. It was just behind the jack, which set up a rest for Simon, but Simon does play the more aggressive game, so, and that shot showed you why he does, and that's how close the bowl is in the ditch. The yellow marker marks where the jack went into the ditch. The red marker is where Simon Skelton's bowl followed it in. As it had touched the jack on its course down the rink, it remains live, even though it's
One
in
yellow.
the ditch. It's a big ask, this, from Scott. He's got to virtually be on
He has.
the rink edge.
Yeah, it's quite a deep ditch as well, Janice. Obviously, the measure can't go straight to the bowl, so obviously you get penalised with a little bit of an angle. He's going to be looking to get within probably 6 inches.
Yeah. Gonna try it because he's got second bowl, so there's nothing to lose. You might as well try and get a shot if you can. Interesting line. Just don't think it's made the trip.
No, it's hard to tell. It looks about 2.5 feet away, I think.
But I would think that that'll be the bowl that Simon's got to beat to get 2 shots out of it. I think that'll be the closest Edwards bowl on the rink. Simon's delivered that bowl. Looks down a decent track, Jason. I don't know whether it's making the trip or not, but like I say, all it's got to do is beat that Edwards bowl and stay on the rink.
Better
Runs
angle.
now.
Yeah,
What
well
a
played.
great ball. 2 fantastic bowls by Simon Skelton there.
Cheers. Thanks. 2.
Takes a 2-1 lead after 2 ends,
shots,
second set.
Simon
And Simon
Skelton.
Skelton won the first set 10-3. to that shorter length. He's gone a little bit shorter still. I mentioned earlier on in the day we don't have the feedback for the length of the jack at the moment, as these are early rounds in the 2 tour cards here at Blackpool Newton Hall, but once we get to Saturday and Sunday, normal service will resume.
It's nearly 26 metres.
Well done, Jason.
Just like
I saw
that.
you doing the calculating.
Did you
there.
like that?
I did. I remember in a question and answer session at Potter's, when the umpire Dan Blewett was asked how the umpires measured the distances, he replied that they had a satellite navigation system that reported back to their wristwatches what the length was. And I tell you what, this lady totally believed him.
Yeah, I get that.
And then, after hesitation, he did tell her that it was all about counting spots.
Well played. See how the angle comes back of that ball there, look.
Yeah, is it going to sit down? It looks on a...
That wider line, if you just chance it, get the rate wide, it's good.
10 inches.
James Rippy there, top right of your screen. He's got a big game tomorrow morning. Gary R. Smith.
Yeah, that'll be a tough game, first game on.
Be a great game. And it's on the TV rink, is it?
It is. James Rippy's actually further down with a black t-shirt on. I think
you've just aged him.
I think somebody's one of our cameramen thought top right hand side of the screen. He's sat talking to Paul Maynard, I think, James Rippy. A real character, very, very good at Potters.
Yep.
Really got the crowd roaring. Got coach loads coming in to watch him, and it was one of the noisiest games I've ever commentated on. There you go, that's
there
James Rippy.
I know which of those drinks I'd prefer.
Yeah, James does. Takes his bowls very seriously, and he's another one that'll want to do well in this tour card.
2 yellow.
Well, Simon walking down just to have a look at the angles on this. It's interesting that a few of the players are coming back in now. It does make you wonder whether the Trevor Taylor game, Neil Smith game might be close to its completion. Even Pat Briscoe stood in the doorway there. That's just lost out to Charlie Benz. Great game to watch and commentate on.
3 yellow.
Simon Skelton holding 3 here.
Well, big bowl here now for Scott. 3 down to 3 up. Has he got the jack?
Needs
He's
a
not
piece
got
of
the
the jack.
gap, has he?
Oh, he might have got shot out of it.
That's a good one. That's enough.
That's not bad at
One
all. When
shot,
he was
Scott
3
Edwards.
shots against him. Ties the set up again, 2-all after 3 ends.
Again, Janice, percentage. You've got to be up. A couple of options. You know, they're slightly tighter. There's a trail on there for a few. Nothing for short, as they say.
Bit of a chat going on between the 2 players there.
Yeah, it's always nice to see.
Again, he's opting for the longer length jack. It's served him well so far. Oh, great reply there from Simon. Scott just looking to reach into this. A change.
Unlucky.
He's really, if it had been a ball higher, it'd have been perfect.
How short is the last bowl, please, Alan?
Last ball, the gap is 7 inches.
Thank you.
They both go, Janice, if he attacks
Favour
this.
2, Scott.
He attacks this on the backhand. I'm just wondering whether he can clear these two red balls and not get any jack movement at all. Just hard to see about the angle, but it looks possible. Yeah, his forehand, so our backhand.
Just resetting himself, no shot clock, so plenty of time. In the area.
I thought it might have been a bit quicker, but is it going to be quick enough? Oh, unlucky.
It's very unlucky because I think it might have even turned it through and it still might be 2.
Yeah, I think so.
2 yellow.
2 yellow, red, green, pink and black.
We'll be seeing different coloured bowls in our sleep tonight, Jason.
I think so. I think so, yes. It'll be easier come the weekend, hopefully.
Certainly liking this. Stalking after it. Simon Skelton stalks up the rink.
Easy to reach. Right. Do you take a gamble? Underneath Simon's last ball. Edge of the red, take the 2 red away. Should slide through the gap, Janice, with his own ball.
Yeah, even sort of jack
Locking in.
movement towards the right of your screen would suit Scott Edwards. Really can pick his weight, but needs to be under that shorter bowl of Simon Skelton, so needs to play it with a bit of weight. This is going to go somewhere. Might have been tempted to play it with a bit more weight than that to hold it straighter, but it's easier said than done. Well, Simon's got a chance. It's not a big chance. A chance of getting another in. Big wide swinging bowls, so news from the Rink 6 game. The big game between the Taylor and Smith clans, and Trevor Taylor's come out winning that. He's won the final set 8-6, so he moves into the second round.
3 shots, Simon Skelton.
And Scott Bishop won the first set against Jacqueline Henderson and is 6-0 up after 3 ends in the second set.
Trevor's currently cancelling his train tickets, I think. Add another day on. I'm booking a hotel. 5-2. Doesn't want to let him get away from him. Good start again from Simon. There's Wayne and Perry.
Yeah, you think Perry Martin's tall when you stand next to him, and then Wayne Wilgress arrives. And you need step ladders, really.
Yeah, he's very tall indeed, isn't he?
He is. Just wondering what rink that actually goes on. It goes on the split rink of 4 and 5, which we're calling for this tournament rink 4. I was just thinking if Wayne Wilgress was playing on rink 6 and 7, the ceilings are low in here, and on 6 and 7 they're lower still. And I know I've been playing mixed pairs with Wayne Ditchfield from this club, who's 6'3", and you can't exactly run and leap a bowl.
Nope.
His head
One
would
red,
go
yeah.
through the ceiling.
Certainly would. Good ball there from Scott. Just needs to start finding probably just a little bit more consistency, Janice. It's not like he's playing poor, he's just consistent, I think.
Again, steely determination from Simon Skelton. What a bowl.
1 yellow. Yes.
He's just asked if he can come and have a look at this. We play the ordinary non-shot clock rules here at the moment, which is you can go up after your third bowl, but if you want to go up after your second bowl, you have to ask the marker's permission, just to try and keep us in with the time constraints of the event. A few people are going off to party in Blackpool tonight, Jason.
Yep, looks like it. Not sure what there is to do on a Thursday in Blackpool, but I'm sure there'll be something.
I think the club will be open here on a Thursday night as well. Very good entertainment here at Blackpool Newton Hall in the main club residents can go into.
It's been unlucky again there, Janice.
Yeah. Was in the area, just didn't get the result.
No, unfortunate.
I think Simon's just looking if there's any angle off the other green bowl for Scott Edwards to actually get a count out of this, and if there is, he'll be wanting to get another bowl in to cover that. Yeah, looking for a cover bowl here. No need to worry too much about counting.
Depends what angle that plant's at. If it just catches the jack, could give him a chance here. It looks like it could just catch the jack. Janice, do you think the plant?
Yeah, certainly from this camera angle, that's what I was wondering about. I think the plant's his option. It just depends on what sort of pace he wants to play it at, really.
I think just a big yard or two.
Yeah, just an arriving couple of yards.
It'll hang there now, won't it, that forehand?
Yep. Played it the right
One
sort
shot,
of
Simon
weight,
Skelton.
really. Now this is starting to drift away from Scott Edwards now. 4 up with 4 ends to play. Simon Skelton, he won the first set 10-3. We've just got one game out there at the moment. The Jacqueline Henderson Scott Bishop game. The Trevor Taylor versus Neil Smith has finished. Don't forget, if you can't stay with us, all the results and scores are on worldbowlstour.tv. Hopefully you'll be able to join us in the morning, or should I say join Jason at 9:30 for the James Rippy Gary Smith game, and then he and I do a quick switcheroo.
Yep.
For Paul Hartley versus Steve Mead.
As long as we're not both getting changed in the same area, we're all right. Wouldn't be the first time, Janice, would it?
Wouldn't
You
be
and
the
I.
first time. Some of the changing rooms we've had to go to over the years. Simon's firmly in control here at the moment.
Yeah, he's playing very well.
It's 5 inches past Jack High.
The winner of this game will play the winner of the Jacqueline Henderson Scott Bishop game. At the moment, Scott Bishop seems to be fairly in control of the second set. He won the first set. That would be over on rink 7 at 3:45 tomorrow afternoon. And the usual Skelton stalk.
Shot ball, please.
Favour yours.
Another one of the big names that we haven't seen out there yet today arrives for tomorrow morning 9:30 session. The magician himself, Blackpool favourite, Billy Jackson from Lincoln and District. Always a big favourite with the fans here at Blackpool. Loves coming to Blackpool. He plays Michael Layden from Durham in the morning.
red.
Is he a magician?
Oh, if you would have watched him play Super Bowl, he came up with bowls that just weren't possible. So he got the nickname Billy the Magician Jackson. Normally comes over with his
One red.
son Ryan.
Pass mine
And
off
they
to Jack, please.
The gap
Won
on your
the-
bowl, 2 inches.
National Federation pairs.
Oh, right, okay.
I said to Ryan he must have carried his dad to that.
You don't get Federation over here, do you? Or-
No, we don't. Over in Lincoln, they seem to play a lot of Federation games. And to be fair, the North East, Newcastle, a friend of mine, Anne Lenny from West End, and she plays a lot of Federation events. Very successful, I think. That's another thing that we're kind of in the sticks for, so to speak. And certainly the Indoor Federation, it must help your game because a lot of their game is 2-bowl singles and 2-bowl pairs. So,
Oh, okay.
you know, certainly for things like our Eghams and Denny's and internationals and the new 2-bowl singles that's
One red.
now this year in the men's nationals, and next year's going to be included in the ladies nationals. I'm sure it must favour those that play the Federation version. Certainly if I was close enough, Jason, I'd have a go in it.
Right.
We'd be alright with the rules there because it's similar to Crown Green, isn't it?
Oh, is
'Cause on
it? I've never played, I've no idea what it's... Is it still the same principle, as in ends or for pairs? And
Yeah, it
things,
just
is
depends on what format they're playing.
Right.
But
I
The
think
jack's
it's one.
dead when it goes in the ditch, I
Second.
believe.
Oh, okay.
Which was what we consider crown green to be.
Yes.
Whereas here, if your bowl touches the jack, it stays live, and if the jack stays within the confines of the rink but in the ditch, those two yellow markers on the back of the rink there, as you're seeing it, if it stays within that but's in the ditch, it's still live.
So they have no touches then, I take it, do they? Is that
I
right?
believe so.
Save on short, won't it?
Very true.
I always
I wonder
forget
I wonder
mine.
if that's the principle.
I always forget mine anyway.
Well, Scott, can he get to the red bowl of Simon Skelton's and turn it a couple of times?
Oh, man.
Oh, he doesn't like it.
No, another chance missed.
Again, he played the right sort of weight.
Yep, yeah, sure.
Looks like the shots are coming out. It might be a measure here. Oh, steady hands, Thornhill being called in again.
Do you want the back bowl, Scott, as well? Or not? Take that one out. Take the shot bowler, Simon. One shot, Scott Edwards.
Just having a bit of a smile there as my co-commentator here decided to have a sneezing fit, so we had to turn off all the amplifiers, etc. So
Sorry
we are
about
back
that.
with you. But to be fair, Jason, it's quite dusty in here, isn't it?
Yeah,
so I will
it
let you
is
off.
quite dusty in this cupboard, yeah.
In a little
Your bowl,
broom
18
cupboard.
inches.
And I managed to get your attention just in time because you've got all the buttons.
I am. I'm master of the buttons at the moment for this game. But yes, so sorry, we are back with you. We hadn't disappeared off. And Simon's in control here. Scott had a measure there, but only picked up one shot, which again, he was in a position where he could have just
Yeah,
tipped
your last bowl, yeah, the back one.
Simon's ball out to possibly get a 2 or a 3 or even possibly a 4, and he's just been unlucky. He's played the right weight with his chances
Yes.
shots, but just missed out.
Yeah, it is just that, Janice. You know, he's had a couple of chances where he's missed, and he's had also a couple of just fortunate kind of angles in a way. You know, he's hit the right thing, and he's just been a little bit unlucky.
That's 2, sorry. Yeah, 2 red.
We've heard that Scott Bishop is quite comfortable in the second set here of the first round game against Jacqueline Henderson. Oh, Oh, better still hot off the press. He's just won.
Yes.
So it will be Scott Bishop that will
Calm
face
down.
the winner of this game.
It's about an inch short of Jack High. One yellow.
One to Simon at the moment.
Do we just turn in this Jack? Another chance for a 3. Not easy.
No, this isn't an easy chance because he's just got to play it with enough pace to just tuck the Jack away, really. Took it to his own 2 bowls. So glad you've stayed with us this afternoon. This is now the last game on here today. When this finishes, those staying in Blackpool can go off for the fish and chips. Those of us travelling home can wend our weary way.
Are you heading back this evening, Johnny?
Yeah.
Back to Lancaster.
See my little cat. Give her a medicine. She's been a bit poorly recently, Jason, so we don't want to leave her too long on her own. She's got to have all manner of medicines and things.
You should have. I was going to say you should have brought her, but I'm allergic, so maybe not.
We'd have had more sneezing fits, which is no good at all. No, she's quite happy at home.
This is interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, not played the shot that we were thinking. If
Hang
that
on.
goes, is it just not going to lock on?
No, I was always going to lock on.
Can't I? All right. Well, that's one of those that we say it's sometimes the shot you see. 2, could it be possibly
yellow.
3? No, it's 2.
2.
Well, another shot in here from Simon.
I wasn't quite sure what he was doing, to be honest.
No, that could be one for a conversation in the bar later, Jason.
Yeah, I'm
If Simon gets a 3 here, 9-3, 2 ends to play, I think it's one of those start the car jobs.
Well, there you go, Janice. Oh, 9-3. Leaves Scott needing 7 in 2 ends against Simon Skelton, who's playing pretty well, to be fair.
3 shots, Simon
Come
Skelton.
here in determined mode and played well. Scott's had chances and not taken them, and he's also been unlucky a couple of times.
Correct.
So sometimes you know when that happens, it isn't your day. I think this camera's getting tired now at this end, Jason. It's getting even more finicky. I'm sure they'll be running out there to try and sort this one out for you for tomorrow morning.
Yep. I have every faith. Well,
Played to reach it.
yeah.
That's the only trouble when you're starting to chase shots. It can make the score look worse because you can't afford anything less than a 3 at this end.
Forces your hand, as they say. That's all Simon has to do. Keep matching bowls.
Yep.
After it again.
Yeah, I think he's left himself no choice really. Under it this time. It was almost a Mark Royal tongue stuck out of the mouth there.
Yeah.
Delivery from Simon.
They're probably just slightly deeper, I think, than that, Janice.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Scott's bowl's just to the left of your screen there. Better.
Got the bowl.
Well, that still doesn't help the Scott Edwards cause.
Don't think he was far enough, to be honest. He's having a laugh. He knows it's a
I'd
huge
say
ask now.
It's a start the car job, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, be a little disappointed with himself, I think, Janice. You know, everybody
Not
knows he's
played up
far
to his
better.
usual potential, but again, like we said, been unlucky with some bowls and choice of shot a couple of times with question. That's a good bowl from Simon there. Covers the re-spot.
So 2's no good. Needs at least a 3.
Now, you know what I was saying about Billy the Magician Jackson?
All right.
He would make a 4 out of this. He did at Super Bowl anyway.
Shame he's not here. Even the crowd having a little laugh. Yeah.
He's waving to you folks. Wave back at him. Bless him. Thanks, Scott. That's given us a smile on our faces. Well done, Scott.
Legend.
Fair play to you.
Yeah, that's great. He's got his own, has he?
Certainly not got the jack, I don't think.
So, sneaks
One
a
shot,
one.
Scott Edwards, second set and the match to Simon Skelton.
Well, thank you very much for your company today. Thanks, Jason, for joining me. And we'll be with you all weekend, Jason and I, in various different combinations, won't we? And don't forget to join us tomorrow morning, 9:30 for the Co-op Funeralcare European Masters. And you'll be joining Jason then. And I'll see you tomorrow afternoon.
Thank you very much. Good night.